What if I told you that your anxiety isn't in your head, but is instead living within your nervous system? And the reason that you feel so anxious isn't because you're just thinking too much. It isn't because you have too much going on in your life. It's actually a deep rooted issue that oftentimes stems from childhood or years and years and years ago. Today, we're going to explore practical ways to how to release stuck anxiety within your body and within your nervous system. If you've ever felt any sort of tightness in your chest or in your throat, and maybe you even notice it in random situations or after you're getting behind the wheel of a car, it can happen in any sort of moment in your life. But oftentimes there's patterns. If you feel extremely anxious when someone rejects you, even if they're politely declining an invitation to hang out because they have something else going on, and you feel that anxiety within your body, it's oftentimes because when you were younger, you were rejected. Maybe a parent rejected you. That continued to foster within your nervous system, within your subconscious, and showed up as truth. Something important that a lot of people get wrong is that anxiety isn't just thinking negative thoughts. It's an energetic imbalance within your nervous system. And the unconscious mind, which is our body's breathing behaviors, it's responsible for our hormones. It's all of the feelings that happen in our body unconsciously, the tightness in our chest and whatnot. So, the first question I want you to ask yourself whenever this anxiety comes up is, why is this happening? And then, where is this coming from? And really allowing yourself to be honest and being okay with feeling anxious for a bit. If we can begin to learn this process on how to release it so it doesn't keep coming up for us, that is the key to actually evolving as a human and feeling good in our bodies a lot of the time. And we're not always going to feel good. There is going to be certain triggers that continue to come up. But if we can have awareness and why it's happening, and we can do deep subconscious work, then it won't happen as much. We're not going to feel so lost and so overwhelmed into why this is happening. Our nervous system is like the balance between our bodies and our energy. And what anxiety really is a message. It's not the enemy. It's not something that we have to fight through our bodies against. Because instead, when we have compassion and when we can love ourselves more and know that this anxiety probably stemmed when we were 5 years old, for example, and our parents used to yell at us, or they rejected us, or somebody was bullying us in school. And so when we can think of it in that sort of sense and look back and actually see that younger version of us and love them and support them, that is truly the key, because when the anxiety comes up, we don't resist it so much, because what we resist ends up persisting. I also like to think of anxiety as a messenger. If we can as well access the subconscious, for example, through hypnotherapy, we can actually talk to all levels of the mind at once: our conscious, our subconscious, and our unconscious mind, which is responsible for our body's breathing and our hormones and all of that. So, when we use all of the mind at once and begin to tap into past reasons why we have felt that way within our bodies. If you feel this tightness in your chest, when was the first time you felt that way? And in hypnosis, we can more clearly be aware of that, as well as using somatic release to release any stuck energy that we have as well. So I invite you, whenever you feel called to get on a yoga mat or in your bed or whatever, or on the ground with your 2 feet on the earth, and Begin to move your body in any way it feels like it wants to move. And when we can begin to practice this and move without using the mind, we can release stuck energy. So if your body wants to stretch, or if it wants to dance, or if it wants to shake, then allow it to. And ancient people have been doing somatic practices since the dawn of time, shaking, dancing. And I want to ask you right now, are you holding your breath? And if you are, please allow yourself to breathe and to breathe more and to be conscious of when you're holding your breath, because oftentimes we do that. And that also lets us build the stuck energy within us that we don't need to have. When we can allow ourselves to breathe more, even practicing breath work techniques. And I want to use the example of a specific time when I felt anxiety in my chest. I was with a friend and we were having conversation and whatnot. And she said something that immediately sparked this tightness in my chest. And I began to ask questions on why this is happening. And so I would ask myself, where did it begin? Where did this anxiety stem from? And I asked myself the questions of why I was feeling jealous. And I was feeling jealous because I felt like I was going to be left behind. Once we can begin to unravel and ask ourselves more and more and more and more questions, we can truly be aware instead of reacting to things. And we can respond in a way that is conscious and in a way that can make us feel like our true authentic selves, light and free and clear. And of course, things are always going to come up in life. It's always a learning process, but this really helps for getting through. And this can actually really transform the way that you see these triggers instead of seeing them as the enemy. My name is Antonia, and I help people release anxiety with the help of hypnotherapy. And if you're interested in a one-on-one consultation, I will have that linked below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that this video was helpful for you. If you have any suggestions or if you want me to talk about anything else, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.